Eagle number 2 to release. Okay. We've got 3 eagles in here, and I have to catch the female.
I won't follow you in, I'll just stick my camera in.
Yeah. Okay, sweetheart. Okay, guys. Okay. Hey, sweetie. I got you. Here's my girl. You get released on Saturday, sweetheart. You're the next one. Open up. Let me out. How you doing, sweetheart? Aren't you looking good? Oh, much fatter. What a pretty girl. What a pretty girl. You get to go home today. Yes, you do. You get to go home. Let's go ahead and put a hood on you to help keep you calm. Okay, sweetie. Put this on right here. Okay, that's my girl. What the hood is for is as we transport them, a lot of movement drives them nuts. Their eyesight's very good. And so with the hood on, she can't see. It'll help keep her calm, so it'll be less stressful for her as we take her up to the release site. That's my girl. Such a baby. Yeah. Little lady. Welcome to our second eagle release in as many weeks. We actually ended up with 5 young golden eagles that were dying from the oppressive heat this summer, and they came into our rescue centers. First and foremost, I need to introduce Scott. Come over here, Scott. Scott's the one that found the eagle and brought him to me. You know, you guys have to understand, even though, you know, we're the organization that, you know, everybody counts on us to save the animals' lives, but there's a lot more people involved in these rescues, and the BLM steps up again. So Scott, tell us about that eagle.
Well, the eagle came from Red Cliffs Reserve. There's a campground and a day use area down there. And essentially, a visitor who was staying in the campground made the initial call. They both called 911 and went to the nearby state park to report it. So I got the call from 2 different ends. The state park person called me, and then I heard it on 911.
And the eagle was right on the verge of death. Yeah. It had lost more than half its body weight. It was terribly emaciated, dehydrated. And to be honest with you, if Scott and then the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources came and picked it up,
yes,
right,
well,
correct?
And there was a deputy involved who also was out there keeping the traffic flowing and keeping it from being pestered on the road.
Oh, wonderful! And so if everybody wouldn't have stepped up and done their job, to be honest with you, if they would have waited another 12 hours or so, the eagle wouldn't have survived. So it was right on the verge of death. When it gets to us, you know, immediately a feeding tube goes down its throat. Immediately we start giving it fluids, and we start giving it medications, and we start giving it nutrition and that kind of stuff. And it, again, was one of those animals that you look at it, and you just shake your head, and you're pretty confident that by the next morning it's not going to live. It's not going to be there. And so I got up a couple times in the middle of the night to give it small feedings and more fluids and that kind of stuff. And much to our surprise, the eagle, it turned around, and she's absolutely beautiful now and ready for her return to the wild.
Wow.
So she's just a wonderful critter and ready to go. And so we're always grateful for the partnerships that we have with the BLM, with the Forest Service, Highway Patrol, National Parks, everybody that steps in, and private citizens. And guys, please understand, if you come across wildlife that is not acting wild, if you come across an eagle that just sits on the ground and say, wow, it's just sitting, it must be tame. There's no such thing as tame wild animals. Okay, please do not approach it yourself. The people did the right thing. They notified the proper authorities, and the proper authorities, we went to the chain and we saved this eagle's life. And so do not approach wildlife if you think it's tame, because there's no such thing as tame. And they're either dying, they're sick, and an injured animal or a sick animal is actually more dangerous than one that's healthy, because the healthy one just flies away. And the sick ones, you know, they have a fight or flight instinct. If they can't get away, they will hurt you. And that's really what it is. And so this particular eagle, we're kind of dedicated to this eagle, like we did the last one, to all of the firefighters who have literally dedicated their lives to the saving of lives and property, with the big brine head fire that we had here, and the massive destruction that was done, and the amount of wildlife and wild habitat that was destroyed. You know, we're incredibly grateful to not only the wildfire guys, and these guys are braver than I am. You know, I can't imagine running into a forest fire. I mean, that's nuts. But these guys must be just insane. And here's the gentleman that's going to be releasing the eagle, and but also the municipal firefighters that run into burning buildings, and you know, all of the first responders that risk their lives for us, and we're just so incredibly grateful. So let me go ahead and grab the eagle, and we'll start with that. Now please understand, guys, this is a wild eagle. Do not do this at home. Please. Hopefully she still has her hood on. If she doesn't, that becomes dangerous, but hopefully she still does. You got your hood on? Yes, you do, sweetie. Okay. Now the trick is I got to get a hold of her feet.
You're okay where you are.
Okay. So I've got to get a hold of her feet before she gets a hold of me. There we go. Hey, big girl. There's my sweetheart. Okay. Here we go, guys. A full-grown female golden eagle. Now this is a young one. This one was hatched this spring. Oh wow! The thing that most people don't realize is an eagle is full-grown, as big as they're ever going to get when they're 12 weeks old. From the time they hatch, they're full-grown. That's as big as these animals get. And so she was full-grown and flying. And again, separated from mom and dad too early. Did not have the soaring skills that she needed to go up when the weather gets hot and go up to cloud base and stay cool. And so the heat was killing her, and so that's why we were losing her. Those beautiful feet right there, 600 pounds per square inch of crushing power on those feet. If this eagle grabs my hand with those feet, it will crush the bones in my hand, and I will bleed everywhere, makes a terrible mess. And so we've got to be very, very careful with those feet. Now the eagle can certainly bite viciously, and they've got a big hooked beak, take large chunks of flesh. But if they take a large chunk of flesh out of your hand in a couple of stitches, if you get grabbed by one of those feet, not only can it crush the small bones in your hand, but the infection. You can literally lose your life from infection, because there's nothing more infectious than these talons. So these things can be extremely deadly. So you never want to approach a wild eagle. They're incredibly dangerous. Well, here's our victim. You know, you need to
introduce yourself to us.
So I work for the U.S. Forest Service off the Dixie National Forest, down here off Kitty Hawk. Just up here, we had a couple of young men here that deserve this more than me. Their father lost their life. He was a member of the Granite Mountain Hot Shot Crew.
Oh wow!
Do you want? So I do believe their last name's Thurston.
Do you want to bring the young man up to be in a picture?
The two young men. I didn't know they were going to be here, but they deserve this a lot more than me. They lost their father
wow.
a couple years ago doing
They
this
don't want
job. They're
to?
all right.
That's okay.
It's probably too emotional for them, but also my story is I lost a really good friend 11 years ago, coming up on the 17th, so it's a wildfire. So yeah, that's kind of my story. And so yeah, I've been on the Bryan Head Fire for quite a while, and yeah,
Absolutely.
and we do it because we enjoy our job. We don't picture ourselves as heroes or anything like that. We just the job we do, and we enjoy doing it. So that's why we do it.
But you are heroes. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know about that.
Absolutely.
There's much better.
That's easier for all the firefighters.
Thank you.
Okay, now guys, there's a common belief among many Native people that if you say your prayers on the eagle feather will carry your prayers to God. This eagle has over 7,000 feathers. And so the goal is today that we're going to release this eagle back into the sky so that this eagle can carry our prayers, hopes, and wishes for all of the firefighters that have not only lost their lives, but all the firefighters that go to work every day in miserable conditions up on a mountain, you know, living using porta potties and eating terrible food in order to protect our properties, our homes, and our lives. So we're so very grateful for them. And so you ready for her?
Sure.
Okay, stand right there. Arms out. There you go. Wrap your arms around, get a hold of those feet, and she's real good for you. There we go. Feel good?
I'm good.
Take your time, and then just kind of come over here when you're ready. And I'm going to step over and take some pictures before we release her. As always, every little bit of support helps, so please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and help spread the word about the Southwest Wildlife Foundation and the good work that we do here.